All right, guys. Well, welcome to the Sanctuary Podcast. We have some amazing guests with us.
Thanks for having me.
You're not the guest. As you remind me often, I'm never the guest.
That's right.
So thus, you're never the guest. We get to do this together.
Together. Are we going to sing it?
What? We're all in this together?
Yes.
But we have Dave Bernard.
Hey. Hi. What's up?
And Hannah Endri with us.
Hello.
Awesome. We're excited to have you guys. We are going to be talking a little bit about our sermon series that's coming up soon. We're recording soon. Not recording, but Russ is going to preach through soon on our statement.
So is Josh.
And Josh. Oh, Josh is preaching the first one this upcoming week. But we are going to be talking about our statement of faith a little bit more so focused on different habits that we can have as Christians that are super important. But before we jump into those, I want the listeners to know something that's insane to me that we found out. I found out yesterday, but Russ found out today, that Hannah and David have never formally met each other. This is the first time that they've actually had conversation, which is pretty wild. Pretty wild.
It is. For how long both of you have been coming to Sanctuary for?
That's true. David, how long have you been coming?
Oh, since 2019.
Wild. Hannah?
Yeah.
I think it's been like 3 years, 2022.
No, I thought you started coming. Liz started coming.
I started a little bit with her. I would come on and off.
Gotcha.
I was still in school, and then
Finally you dove in after you graduated.
Indeed.
We became cool enough for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. It's because, when Liz came, we were still doing stuff outside.
Yeah, it was during COVID.
Yeah. Wild times. You weren't here then.
I wasn't.
So have you met these guys?
I have met them.
That's good.
Yeah. David wrote a song about me.
Did he?
Oh.
Yeah. And then I went to DR with Hannah for a missions trip.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I knew that, though. I didn't know David wrote a song about you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
David, can you sing for us?
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the song sound like?
It's a lot.
It's about my mustache.
It is.
Is it called Rustache?
Oh, dude, that's such a baller title. Dang it. All right. Rewriting.
So you're not going to perform for us?
Right now?
Yeah.
Give me a speaker to hear the song through, and I can.
Sad.
You have headphones on.
Right. Zach can pull it up.
No, it's actually on my phone. Unless you want me to airdrop it to you.
Airdrop it. Amen. Hannah, while he airdrops it, I was thinking about the fact that every time I go on Instagram and I see your Instagram stories, you're always somewhere not in Connecticut.
A lot of people say that, and I don't know why they say that.
Because you're literally never here. You're always traveling. You're always somewhere else.
It doesn't feel like that.
Hannah, where were you this weekend?
I was in Massachusetts for 4 hours.
Means you weren't in Connecticut for 4 hours.
That's true. I can't remember the last time I was out of Connecticut for 4 hours.
Same. Last week.
Oh, yeah, you were.
I was in Lynchburg.
Wait, where else have you gone in the last 2 months? As of the beginning of December, where'd you go?
I was in Toronto for a little bit.
See, I didn't even know
6
that.
hours. Toronto.
just for a layover. Okay, Toronto.
I guess I went to New Jersey.
Okay.
Went to look at the drones.
No, the drones came to Connecticut.
Really? Is that true?
I've seen one.
No, for real?
Unless it was my imagination, I do think
You
I
just
saw
wanted to see it so bad. You're like, I see a drone right now. I promise.
I was actually coming home from Sanctuary one night, and I don't know, it was on my street. Something flew really fast. First, I thought it was just a light, but then it moved pretty fast and kept going up the street. And I was like, that has to be a drone.
That's wild.
Wow.
Maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
Okay, so
Maybe
New
it
Jersey.
was.
And then you were in India when?
Okay, that's before, or that's over the 2-month mark you gave me, Russ. But
Sorry.
I did. I was in India,
That's
the DR,
The DR? See?
Spain.
When is she home, ladies and gentlemen? We don't know.
There are 24 hours in a day, so 3 of those trips could probably fit within one day.
But my question, so within all of those, where's been your favorite spot that you've been to? Obviously New Jersey, but
Why not New Jersey? Let's start there.
Armpit of the United States.
My favorite spot. I would have to say I did go to St. Thomas earlier that year.
Ladies
Not on
and
the
gentlemen,
list.
never home.
Addition. to the
Never
list.
home.
And I just think the group of friends that I went with, it was just, they made it a really memorable and awesome time.
That's
so,
sweet. So it's about the people you go with. Not
Yeah.
That's
the
right.
place.
That's right.
So your family in India, rough.
oh,
DR. Rough.
DR, you went with Russ. Get it.
yeah. Russ
Sorry.
made fun of me the entire time on the DR.
That's not
just-
true. We
'cause you couldn't
haiku'd.
walk.
We haiku'd the whole time. Oh, yeah. Also, yeah, you were in a boot the whole time, which is hilarious.
But amazing. I just wanted to know. I was thinking about it. I was like, Hannah's never home. Want to know where her favorite spot is. So St. Thomas with the right friends,
Yeah.
not with Russ.
That's right. That's right.
Good. All right,
Nice.
David,
Yeah.
debut the song.
This is
right.
unreleased.
This is really the debut.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Wow.
A year and a half later,
year and a half later.
Basically. This is kind of cool, though.
I like it.
go for it.
Well,
As soon as Zach's ready.
no, I hope you guys like it. It's just silence.
Oh, cool.
it's just David looking at people, head nodding.
Head nodding. Oh, wow. Forgive me because I struggle with my own lyrics, but you know,
That's
it's
okay.
fine.
That's all right.
Barely hear it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yes, yeah.
Oh, I can hear it.
Long intros, guys. I'm a very
Russ,
big fan.
it's okay. Russ is just getting sweaty as time goes on. I like it. The suspense is building.
Yeah.
Russ, I feel like you should do a rap.
I'll gladly rap.
Hot lights, fast times. Long steps, quickens, past life. Being rock, I cry, sundown. Realized we can't rewind those times. And all the while I'm still chasing after a ghost. Yeah, but with that said, I'm still not giving up hope. Yeah, I'll be right here for us. Yeah, no problem, Lord, I'll still trust. I'll face these fears, yes I must. I only pray the sun rises with you.
Do we have to keep going?
That was awesome.
That was great.
That was so good.
All right. Yeah.
Where was Russ mentioned?
Where was Russ mentioned later
Yes.
on? But it was just based off of like one of his sermons. Am I blanking on that specific sermon? Yes.
That's cool.
But yeah, thank you, Russ.
He's blanking.
Thank you,
cool.
Russ, for helping and
That's
being an
great.
instrument through God and helping me.
Oh, my pleasure.
That's
Anytime.
sweet. This doesn't need to become a Russ praise podcast.
It doesn't, but it could.
But I
Good.
love Russ.
So, Dave, part of the reason why I'm glad you did that is because you also just released something
Yeah.
recently. What is that?
I released a song, first like primary full song, being a full on faith follower. It's called Across the Universe, and it's just what's been on my heart for like since I started actually coming to Black Rock, honestly, and started really pursuing my relationship with God. It's just music that God puts on my heart, and it's very Coldplay inspired. I love Coldplay. That's just my thing. That's my stage. But I genuinely, I loved making it. I cried like 5 different times making it, and I had the Bible open in front of me while making it, and it was just like powerful because I just started praying different psalms while making it, and it was just super fun.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Where can people listen to it? On Spotify?
You know, if I could have blocked Spotify from being, I would have. But it's
Sad.
okay.
Really
Sorry
sad.
to all the Spotify people that listen right now. I love you.
So is it
That's
just
all of us.
just on SoundCloud then?
No, I think that's the only place it's not on, which is surprising.
Wild.
My Jurassic Park themed hardcore band is on SoundCloud.
Tell me that's real right now.
It's called the Lysine Contingency.
Amazing.
After this podcast, can you
Yeah, well,
listen
Please
to
don't
that?
find.
We'll listen at the
Please
end.
don't
Can we
find that
find-
though.
We'll listen at the
It's a
end.
joke.
So back to the podcast.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I would love for you guys to share, because most people who listen to this podcast come to Sanctuary, are a part of Sanctuary. I know you guys kind of said when you started coming, but why did you start coming to Sanctuary?
Hannah, that's all you.
All right. I think I started coming with my sister. I think she was looking for a church after she finished college, and I just came with her. And I liked it. And then I think we kind of talked about this. I was coming on and off while I was, home from college on weekends. And then it was after I finished college and I came home, and I was like, all right, well, what do I do now? And I attend a different church with my family, but there aren't a lot of young adults who go to that church. So I really saw the value in coming to Sanctuary, and I've just been coming ever since. Like, I've really enjoyed the community that I've built here, and yeah, that's why.
Do you serve at that church in the morning?
I do.
What
yeah.
do you do?
So I'm a Sunday school teacher at that church. I work with elementary age children there. And yeah,
Cool. Do you also make the curriculum for that?
I do not, thankfully.
It's a lot of work.
That is a lot
It
of
is.
work.
No.
David?
I started coming here 2019, and I got invited for my good brother Keyshawn Webley's baptism. And ever since then, I just kept going. He kept inviting me, kept trying to persuade me to come because we were both trying to find a church home. I grew up in the church. I'm a pastor's kid, so I was like, sure, I'll venture out to a new church. This seems fun. But then I started falling in love with the people here, and 2020 happened. I started watching primarily just online, and then 2021 hit, and I was like, all right, David, you gotta get in the community. I prayed, and then literally a week after, I met my friend group of people there. Andres is one of those people.
Gang,
And it was it's just been peachy keen ever since. I love it here. It's great. Oh,
That's cool. And what's really cool, and kind of one of the reasons why we asked both of you guys onto the podcast is, one, you guys are very different. But two is just your involvement in the community, the ways that you guys serve, the ways that you guys show up. So when did you guys start serving at Black Rock or at Sanctuary? And was it an initial I really want to do this? Were you hesitant at first? How did you feel stepping into that?
Hannah?
Okay. Could you repeat the question one
Yeah,
more
of
time?
course, of course. So how long did it take for you to start serving, and what did you start serving as?
Okay. I think I started serving about a year after I started coming to Sanctuary. Before that, I would come with my sister. She was on the design team, and I would help out. And then I think there came a point where I was like, okay, I kind of want to do something on my own and serve in a different area. And I like the design team, but I also wanted to, I think, meet more people and serve more in with others. And I saw that the Connect team and Cafe team, in those areas, you're kind of interacting with people more, and I like that aspect of it. So I started on the Connect team first, and I think I was kind of going outside of my comfort zone to do that, but I really enjoy it. And then
Wait, before you go on,
yeah.
there are people listening who have never been to Sanctuary before.
Mm-hmm.
What is the Connect team and what's the Cafe team?
Okay. So the Connect team, when you're on that, you're kind of out in the front before service, greeting people as they walk in. You're just there to, be a friendly face to them, and also take questions. There are people who have never been in this church building before, so or been to a sanctuary service, so they might have questions on where to go or what this is. So you're there to answer questions and just let them know that you're there to help them if they need anything. And then usually after service, we have, the Connect booth where people can sign up for emails if they want, or we have gifts for them if it's their first time coming to church. And just we get them connected and let them know of the different ways they can get involved at church. And on cafe, I make the coffee. And yeah, this was me just trying to live out my dreams of being a barista, even though I don't drink coffee.
That was me too. I tried to get a job at Starbucks and I was like 24 and I couldn't get past the initial application. Like I couldn't get an in-person interview. I tried so hard. Did you actually try to get a job at
No.
Starbucks? Oh, okay.
Just you.
Just me.
Just you.
I'm unhireable. Wanted it so bad. I live out my dream too. I like cosplay as a Starbucks barista when I'm there.
When you're at
Cafe.
Starbucks. Oh,
At cafe.
at the cafe. Good to
Yeah,
know.
I pretend.
I'll get you a Starbucks
I try to make it
apron.
seem like it takes a lot of effort to get the hot water out of the spigot
Yep.
to make tea.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hannah, going back to what you were talking about with getting involved with the Connect team and that was out of your comfort zone. Why was that out of your comfort zone and how did you work through that?
I think it was out of my comfort zone because it was a year into going to Sanctuary, but I still didn't know a lot of people. And I think I was a bit nervous about that. And just being in front of people and, I don't know, talking about, because you have to talk to them in a way that makes them think, yeah, you know what this church is, like, sure. You know what you're doing, sort of thing. And I think over time I grew in that and was able to do it more confidently. But how did I work through that? Was that your question? Or
Yeah, like because that's a lot for me. So I'm very introverted. Mm-hmm. I don't like meeting new people. That's really hard for me. People think it's not, right? So that's probably one of the reasons why I would have a hard time on the Connect team. But it doesn't seem like that was the case for you necessarily.
yeah. So I think there are times where I can be quiet and shy, but I think there's also a part of me that really loves meeting new people and I really like talking to people. I think something about me is that I love small talk for some reason. I know a lot of people hate it and like
I hate it.
I love it. I'm a big fan of it too. Just want to say we're split 50-50. Zach, what about you?
Zach's really good at small talk.
Is that true?
He is.
The weather is always changing.
So you love small talk?
Yeah, I like
You're good at it?
small talk. And I just find it fun to meet people and like, when you're on the Connect team or on cafe, it might be a few seconds of interacting with someone, or it might be a few minutes and getting to just talk to someone you don't usually talk to or learn about them. It's a fun time. So I enjoy that aspect of it.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, David Bernard.
Hey.
How long did it take you to start serving, and where did you start serving?
I kind of got tricked into serving a bunch of times while I was here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna call out a couple of people.
Good.
Keyshawn Webley, yeah, wherever you're at, dude. If you're listening to this, which you should be, make it his job, honestly, because I want to embarrass him as much as possible while I'm here. He got me into Kidsmen on Sunday mornings, and that started back in 2021. Then from there, it quickly progressed to 2022 Summer Adventure. If for the people that don't know, that's a summer camp. One of the best experiences ever. Slight plug.
It also pays.
It also pays.
Wait, you started off as a volunteer there?
Yeah.
Oh, what a
No, not a volunteer at
That's
Summer Adventure.
Oh, okay.
I was just a
You
Kidsman volunteer on Sunday mornings.
Gotcha.
And then he was just like, "Oh, you seem to really like the kids. Come on down to Summer Adventure. You get to see them every day. It's an adventure in the summer." So then I said, "Sure, cool." Then I actually loved the job because I was like, "Oh, wait, this is like super fun. Adults are so much work, and yet kids make a lot more sense. So you know what? Let's stick around with the kids." And from there, it just progressed. And then second call out, Andres tricked me into fusion.
That's right.
Little background on that one. He said that he was down a leader and he just needed someone to fill in. And I was like,
One
oh,
night.
that's sure. One night, fill in, cool. It was on retreat too. So I was like, oh, cool. This is kind of just going to be like a double whammy. I get to like hang out with the younger folk. They always make me feel energized. And then I also get a good word in for the weekend.
I literally forgot about that.
Dude.
That you came on a retreat weekend.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You told him just one night for retreat. Was he gonna go home?
Got him.
On Saturday.
Yep.
Got him.
And then that's how I got my notorious name, Grandma.
Really?
Yep.
I never heard this before.
Well, you have to do the voice.
Grandbaby.
That's what he does. That's how
I
he
do
got
it
him.
all the time. Look at my little grandbabies.
How did this come about at retreat?
Okay. So,
the
oh
lip
man,
smacking is perfect.
ASMR. So I had a cardigan. I didn't know how well I should be dressing for like the retreat because I was just like, oh, I've only gone to the sanctuary one. Cool, whatever. But that one, I just brought my cardigan and I pulled it over myself. And then some of the senior girls had looked at me and they were like, you look like such a grandma. Oh my gosh. And so then I played into it because I was just like, I know how to entertain people, I think. And so let me just put on a voice and be like,
Well, then y'all got to stay warmer than me out here.
so then it worked, it sticked, and then they made TikToks of me. And then I have a TikTok page dedicated to BRC Grandma.
I didn't know that.
There's so much lore. There's so much
That's
lore to
wild.
it. But yeah, they made a TikTok thing. I think there's only like 2 posts to it because they forgot the password. And they never told me the password. So
Sad.
I don't know if it's still around
Sad.
or if it got deleted with the rest of the app.
It's never deleted. TikTok's back, baby. Back and better than ever.
See?
Praise the Lord.
No, man. I got rid of the app. I can't get it back.
I'll sell you my phone. 10,000.
His new Flappy Bird.
Oh,
That's right.
no.
I literally that night that it got deleted, 10 p.m.
Yeah.
That the rest of the night, I just like I would like do something, close that app, and then click TikTok. Realize it wasn't going. Close it. Would start doing something else, and be like, oh man, I should check TikTok. Open it again is a very sad moment.
You're sounding like a real addict right there.
I am. What's even worse is that one of the kids from Ignite sent me, if you know Abe. Abe had posted something of him drinking a whole jug of milk that said like, at least I'm not addicted to TikTok. Someone sent that to me and I responded and just said, well, I'm lactose intolerant. That's all I have for you. So that's crazy. And then David, you also serve.
Yeah. So then after getting tricked into fusion for years, Keyshawn Webley again would tell me, David, you should go on the worship team. And then Kevin Butterfield called me out one day and he was just like, David, stop. Do the worship team. I said, okay, I'll try out. I was nervous because I was like, I don't know. I don't really like singing out loud in front of people. It was always a weird thing. And then they convinced me and I got over my sheepish way. And I was like, okay, wait. After I found out I had to do like auditions with Zach, I was like, oh God.
Yeah, Zach's really scary.
Oh God. At that point, I didn't know Zach. So I was just like, I've always seen him and he's always been the man. I was just like, he still is the
And
man.
he's got his own beautiful voice.
Exactly. And I was just like, how is he going to critique me? I don't know. And then he said, yeah, you're on the team. And I was like, oh. Didn't think I was going to get this far, but hey, this is nice. This is cool. I like this. And then after, it just turned into that. And I've just been on the worship team since, still doing fusion. Summer Adventure, part 4, I think, now. This is going to be my 4th. Oh my gosh, it's my 4th year.
4 years, baby.
4
Locked
years.
in.
And then Kidsmen I'm supposed to be Kidsmen on Sundays. I just helped out this past Sunday and then possibly doing Elevate on Wednesday nights.
Wow.
Yeah,
He lives here.
basically.
Literally. Oh, I'll see David it's like a Thursday. David's here. Don't know why. David's here though. Always here.
I figure he's always here to CQ.
No, I come. All right. So I have my daily routine. I come. I hope to see you and him in the office so I can at least wave because I don't know what you guys are always doing. Zach is usually out and about or he's locked in.
True.
He's
Headphones
locked,
on.
Headphones on, locked in. Heather is just, hey. So I'm just like, that's dope. And then I go to Q's office, say hey to him and Van. And then Dan is usually either in a meeting or doing something else. So I'll make sure I see all my peoples. I love y'all. So
And we're worried about like the Roombas
Right.
picking up and like documenting for Amazon everything we're doing. David's been taking notes the whole time.
Getting the lore.
Basically.
Yep.
So you guys serve, and I was thinking about this as I was kind of thinking through today. So Josh, this upcoming Sunday, will most likely talk about kind of what it looks like to be a Christ follower. And he points out these 6 habits, 6 values that are important for a Christ follower to have. One of them is serving. The other one is worship in a service. But something that I was thinking about is the fact that really our whole lives should be worship. Whatever we do, everything that we do should be worship. And I was thinking about the fact that you guys serve. Dave, you get an interesting kind of aspect of serving in worship and leading us in worship. But you also do it with students, you do it with kids. And Hannah, you get to do it as people walk into the doors, as you make coffee. And I just wanted to talk to you guys just more about like, how do you guys see those things work together? You know, you living a life of worship through the way that you serve.
Honestly, it's like the way I see worship as a whole is sacrifice, because that's what the Bible describes it as. Like the first mentioning of worship is when Abraham is about to go up with Isaac, and he says, like, we will go up and worship the Lord. And he literally means that he's going to sacrifice Isaac. But like the best part about it that God showed me, he was just like, see how baller Abraham is, how he said like, oh, I'm going to go up this mountain, stay down here, but we will come back down together. Like he had the faith to know like his sacrifice wasn't going to block like the promise that God put on his life. So I kind of see it as that. Like, yeah, it's a sacrifice for me to make time for all of these different ministries, but the good that is returned with me is like, I'm Isaac. I'm the living sacrifice. And God's just telling me like, yeah, come with me up there to make some time and then come back down with me so that we can celebrate and just live our lives together. And I'm just like, oh, that's dope. I just get to spend time with Dad. So it's fun. I love it.
Love it.
For me, I think this was something that it took a while to realize. I think when I first started serving, I don't think I exactly saw serving as worship. It was something that I liked to do. It was something that, I really enjoyed helping people. It was something, of course, I guess that also made me feel good to help someone else too. But it took some time for me to realize that even though it seemed like a simple task of greeting someone or making coffee, that God was still in those moments, and that he got to be in those interactions, and that there's, you can go into those moments with more intention and more prayer, or more prayerfully, and it makes a difference. And I think that kind of helped tighten the aspect of this is worship. When being able to bring God into those simple tasks, like of making coffee or just smiling at someone.
That's good. That's awesome. How do you guys think even like that, what you guys do impacts the way that other people are able to worship? So I think, right, we can look at this from a serving aspect, but even thinking about it from, Hannah, you're the first person someone might see walking into the church. We don't allow them to drink coffee before service, but even after service, like you get to continue the worship experience that someone gets to have while they're out in the cafe, right? How and then Dave, even from like your aspect of serving as someone who leads worship, how do you guys see the roles that you have?
It's at first very daunting, like I don't know. I've taken the time to like consider sometimes as to when I worship in serving in that way, serving the worship team with the worship team, it's like, oh wait, this is bigger than me, and how I present myself or even take the time to prepare beforehand. Like it's all very necessary steps beforehand. Because just like Hannah, it's like someone could be coming in here for the first time or even like the 80th time. And it's something that maybe this one song and me serving, just ministering with this one song can change something in their hearts. And it's not me doing it, but it's Dad doing it and just being like, hey. So as long as I know that I'm faithfully stewarding that serving heart, then I think it works out, but it's kind of necessary in that way.
That's cool. You got anything, Ann?
Yeah. I was trying to remember the question to phrase it in the way to answer the question.
You know what I realized for this podcast, for Hannah's sake, we need to project the questions up behind David or something like that. That's what we should have done. She would never forget the question if it was just up right there. We got to get a projector. Oh, we got a TV.
We got
right
a
there.
TV.
We should put the questions on the TV.
After they're asked.
Yeah.
I was just talking about, so part of right, so there's worship, you guys getting to experience worship as you serve, but also you guys get to help people experience worship. And if you've seen that as you've been able to like serve the people alongside you, the people who are coming into Black Rock.
Yeah. I think I've had similar moments like Dave where I realize it's bigger than me. Like, I think I went in before thinking, oh, I'm just serving coffee, I'm just handing someone a cup, but it's more than that. And I think it was, I mean, it's like, I think it's a great feeling to like understand like, oh, God can use this, and God could, use this interaction to plant a seed of like encouragement or kindness for someone. Yeah.
I think that you guys both have unique opportunities. Like David has the unique opportunity like of leading people into the throne room of God, where like that's like what's being done in worship. In worship leading, it's like as the worship leader, it's like you know the secret way, and you're bringing everybody else along. And then for Hannah, the role as like connect team or the cafe team, it's like people are living in this really like rough world where people aren't kind, especially on the internet. And then maybe you got like cut off while you're driving on the way here. Everything's kind of like falling apart in your life, and you show up and you have like the first positive, kind, loving interaction with somebody. And not because they're paid to do it. Like no one's paying you to stand out in front and be like, hey, I'm happy you're here. Or like, you want some coffee? Of course, it'd be my pleasure. They don't even work at Chick-fil-A and they'll say it, you know? And so it's like a genuine interaction with someone that's like full of love. So it's like a really cool thing. It's like a way to show the love of God through something just like serving. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, and I think too, the roles that you guys have, like even thinking about that with, you know, especially, it's cool because you guys get to steward the presence of God in really unique and different ways. Because right, what Russ is saying as far as you like leading people through the secret pathway, but Hannah, you almost get to do a like, hey, like I'm trying to make it not sound culty in my head.
You're doing great.
Thank you. But like just making people feel like comfortable, making people feel like, hey, this is somewhere that you can trust. Like it is a safe place for you to come in as you greet people. But then even afterwards with community time in the cafe, like serving coffee, serving tea, and creating space for people to like talk about whatever the sermon was about, talk about their weeks, catch up with friends. Like it's a really unique space that you guys, whether you see it or not, you guys really get to kind of foster those spaces to allow, right, not just, right, David gets to do a very real, like, right, in the worship center, but Hannah, you get the unique opportunity to like steward the presence of God in a space that's probably people wouldn't even see as a worship space, but we get to worship God through our interactions as we talk with other people and facilitate community around other people. So that's really sick.
I have a bit of a question. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to come out, but as
that's right, we'll repeat it for Hannah.
Great. We'll put it on the TV for. As believers in Jesus, we believe that the Holy Spirit dwells inside us, and he enables us he gives us gifts, spiritual gifts. And so, Hannah, how have you seen the gifts that you believe that the Holy Spirit has given you come into play when it comes to your serving outputs, whether that's your ministry at the church in the morning, running the Sunday school, or Connect team, or cafe? Do you want me to repeat that?
I got it, Russ.
All right,
I got
got you.
Yeah, so I believe one of my spiritual gifts is mercy. And I definitely do see that come into play when serving, especially on Connect. I think just trying to have intentional conversations with people who walk in alone or who might be just standing by themselves or they don't know where to go. I really try to make an effort to talk to those people and make them just feel like they can be here, that they belong here, that they have a friendly face, someone to talk to the next time that they're here. That's something I really try to do. And also on, I feel like it comes out more during on the Connect team side versus cafe as well, but you're kind of in a rush of there's a line of people behind someone and you're trying to have a conversation with them, but also, be able to serve the next person. Yeah.
It's cool. I was just curious because I feel like the gifts can take so many different forms. Even mercy, thinking about yesterday during the 11:30 service, there was a woman in front who, after hearing the stories of just people getting baptized, she was just breaking down. She looked like she was having a rough time. And Garrick, one of our worship leaders, while he was in the middle of leading worship, he just reached down and he grabbed her hand and just held her hand for 30 seconds, which is a long time during a song.
Yeah.
And she just looked at him and she wept. And he was just that seemed I was I wonder if Garrick has the gift of mercy, because to see this woman in the crowd of 1,000 people and be no one around her is reaching out and grabbing her hand, how much did that mean to her that someone was hey, I see you and you're suffering and I'm here with you. I thought that was pretty cool. So it's cool how the gifts can be shown in different environments. And I was curious about how that played out for you. Cause I had a cheat sheet. I know you had mercy as one of your spiritual gifts. David, what about you though? Do you know how your spiritual gifts come into play with your serving?
I'd say so I'm a big lover boy. I like to love a lot of people.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That sounds weird, but
Yeah. No, I think I hope and pray every single time, before worship happens or even fusion, that the love of God is shown through my serving, that people feel at least cared for in that way, in some kind of way. If before serving for worship, I usually pray right as the intro team, I call them, goes up. I'm usually saying, Lord, none of me, all of you, and let them feel your love. Because that's what's helped me recognize what his all-encompassing love and power is and just who he is. So I'm yeah, Lord, if I can show that love on stage, off stage, in every kind of way and dimension, then I feel as if I'm doing good by him. And then I'm all right, Dad, did I do a good job? Is it cool? Did we love people the correct way? Not in the way I intend to, but the way that you want love to be, patient, enduring all things, joyous. Am I following that correctly? And if I feel this sense of I usually get this warm, tingling feeling, and I take it as him just being yeah, you did good. Here's a hug. And I'm yeah, this is nice. I like it. But yeah.
How did you get to the point where you went from coming to sanctuary or going to the morning service and being like, you know what, this has been great that this whole thing has been about me and Jesus so far, to getting to the point where you're like, this is bigger than me, and like I'm called to help other people have this same experience?
It took me a while, like honestly, because of a lot of self-doubt and fear of like rejection in that kind of way of being like, because again, love being the biggest reasoning as to like why I did what I did. I felt like if I were to serve others in that way, maybe they would take it the wrong way.
Like if you tried to lead people in worship, they would be like, no, we don't want you.
Yeah, basically. And be like, oh yeah, no, there's just this tall, 6'6",
Handsome.
all right.
Let's crank it up. Let's say 6'8".
Okay. You know what? 4'8". 4'8". Dude just up on stage singing like he must think he's like tough stuff or whatever. And a lot of the time I still like struggle with that. But after a while, it just kind of all goes away.
So, like, you were willing to attempt to volunteer and try out for the team, even though you were like, I'm worried that I'm not going to be enough.
Yeah.
Or people are going to compare me to somebody else like Zach and be like, his voice isn't good enough. He doesn't lead it like Zach does. But you were like, I'm just going to try anyways.
Yeah. It came down to like an honest conversation with me and God. And he was just like, are you not doing this because of you? Or are you not doing this because I told you not to? And I was like, oh, it's just because of me. All right, fine. If you say I'm qualified and the resume you've created on my behalf says that I'm more than like ready for this, then okay, we're just going to follow your lead and I'm just going to obey what you want me to do instead of just doing what I want to do. And if that serving is a part of the calling, then yeah, I just got to do it.
So shows like American Idol and X Factor and America's Got Talent have made us like the most critical people when it comes to people's voices. Like the role of worship leader, people are sitting there and be like, messed up that note, right? But like Hannah, your serving positions aren't ones that are up front where people are like, oh man, I can't believe she said hi like that. That's a messed up hi, you know. So
My coffee tastes bad.
oh,
I
the
don't
coffee
know.
tastes bad. Have they said that about you? They're like,
No
when
one's really
Hannah
said
makes
that
coffee,
yet, but I worry about that sometimes.
it's well. You also have to remember it's free coffee. Right? How much can you complain about free coffee?
And it's good coffee.
It's
we
good
we give pretty good coffee. Like it's not like we're not just getting like Starbucks beans.
It's true.
We're getting good coffee. Anyways,
I like that you said we give good coffee
Why?
because the coffee's brand name
is
Give.
sponsored by Give.
Sponsored by Give. Who else is our sponsor today, Andres?
Do you guys ever have car trouble?
The muffler place.
Oh,
I listen to the
wow. There you
podcast.
go.
There we
yeah.
go. But so me, Hannah, one of I'm thinking about Russ's question.
I don't think she answered my question.
She didn't answer your question, but I'm
But
gonna
keep going,
reroute it.
Okay.
One of the things that you haven't mentioned that you've served as is a small group leader, which I heard your small group was bomb.
It was, yeah.
Nice, good. Porter enjoyed serving with you, leading with you. You guys co-led a small group together. But did you ever feel that even in like leading a small group, like, man, why am I here? Like, am I worthy enough to do this? Do I know enough to do this? As you were leading?
Yeah, definitely. I think I was definitely surprised when Russ came to me one day and was like, do you want to lead a small group?
Small group lore.
A lot of lore.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, I think with leading, this was my first time leading a small group and leading it among peers. So I think that was a little scary at first. And some of these people were like older than me too, or who know more than me. So I was a little nervous going into that. And especially we decided to do a small group on 1st and 2nd Timothy. Those are deep 2 books, intense. So I was kind of like, what did I sign up for once I started reading through that? But I think I learned that I kind of had to just let go and like take the pressure off of myself of thinking that I had to know have all the answers to everyone's questions. Like I could, I can try to do the best I can and like prep and like talk to Porter about it. And I think I like leaned on you, Russ and Andres, for resources during the small group as well. So I kind of just had to step back and be like, all right, I can do the best that I can, and God's gonna do the rest. We're at the end of the day, like if I just provoked a thought to someone in that small group, or if someone if they were able to have a good discussion, or if they just enjoyed everyone's presence there, if they just had a good day, or like had a good time, had a good laugh, like I think I had to be okay with that, and I was okay with that. So
it's good. Our middle school pastor Paul talked about how much he loved having you guys up in the staff lounge.
Shout out to him. He came like it was like clockwork. Like every Wednesday evening, he would come up around 9. Like our group would look forward to see him. They're like, when is he going to come? Like we have a question for him. So we appreciated him.
He said that he liked to quiz you guys.
He did.
He was like, all right, what's like the one thing you guys talked about or learned today or something like that?
I got scared. I was like, what are they going to answer?
She's like, please say you just had a good time.
So to kind of end the podcast, I would just love if somebody's listening and maybe they've been coming to Sanctuary for a little bit, but maybe feel what you guys felt of like, I don't know enough, or I'm not good enough. And David, you're even for you, like not just on the worship team, but leading at something like leading with kids or Fusion. What's one piece of advice that you guys would give someone who might be in that space of like, I kind of want to serve, I don't think I'm good enough, or even I don't want to serve. Like I just want to come to Sanctuary just to enjoy it, and that's it.
Here's just a couple of pieces of what I think God's told me over the time of serving. Don't be a Jonah, be a Noah. If you hear God calling you to do something, don't run away from it and act as if you're not good enough for it, or get too big and haughty over yourself and think like you're bigger than what he's asked you to do. Just be a Noah, obey, and do it. Because it's such a freeing thing. Like through God, I've been taught the lesson of on the other side of fear is freedom. And there's so much freedom to be had. And it's just such a beautiful thing to serve and be free in that serving. And then also just in general, you're, as a Christ follower, you're called to do things. And God wants you to do work for his kingdom. But I think a lot of the time we get so caught up in the not good enough, or I don't know how to do it. So then we're just like, we look at it as a duty instead of also just a delight. And something that God even taught me just a couple of weeks ago was like, where duty and delight meet, spiritual disciplines are created. And that's something that's really been helping me, where he's just like, your spiritual discipline in serving and actually going about it, it amplifies and it grows and it's showing its fruit. So just look at everything, even if serving seems like a burdensome thing, just delight in it, find the joys in it, and it just becomes easier. So yeah.
That's good.
I think this is something that Kevin says, or maybe just the church in general, but he always says like faith is spelled like risk, R-I-S-K. So I would say like if you feel called to serve, like just definitely like take the step, even if you're scared or you don't know what's gonna happen. Like God works in just unimaginable ways, and you never know what can happen. Maybe it's not for you, and if that's the worst thing that happens, then like, okay, you might have to step down. But I think that a lot of people might find that this is actually something that they might enjoy doing, and just it's hard, but try to put your fears and doubts aside. I think even for coming onto this podcast, I was a little nervous, but then I thought about the story of Moses, because I was in my Bible plan, and how he didn't want to go. God told him to go speak to the Egyptians, or to the Pharaoh.
Pharaoh, yeah.
Speak to Pharaoh. Not Pilate. To speak to Pharaoh to help
his
the
people
Israelites.
go.
Yeah, let the Israelites go. And he was too nervous. And then I think God says, like, he just encouraged Moses in a way and was like, if I gave you a mouth, like, who's gonna, I'm not quoting the scripture at all correctly,
You're
but
nailing it.
He basically says like who gave you the mouth? Like who gave you the tongue to speak? Then speak.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's one of my favorite passages. But keep going, Hannah.
Now that you've really deeply cut Andres.
Think about that.
yeah, but that was just a passage that came up to even come here on this podcast when I was feeling nervous about doing this. But yeah, I would say that just take the risk and try something new.
It's good.
That's cool. I was talking to my friend Elijah yesterday, and we were talking about this passage from Matthew 12, and it talks about like a tree, like you tell a tree by its fruit, like if it's good fruit or bad fruit. And the thing is, other people have to eat that fruit to tell the tree if it's good fruit or bad fruit. Like if it's a good tree or a bad tree, the tree can't like consume its own fruit and be like, yum. Also, if people eat the fruit and they're like, this fruit's good, the tree can't be like, well, let me tell you, I'm going to explain my way out of this compliment, right? So like, as going off like what Hannah says, if you like jump into serving and everybody around you is like, wow, it seems like God's really made this for you, then like the evidence is the fruit, right? But if the fruit is bad, everyone's like, all like those wise friends that you have are like, you know what? I don't think this is for you. Everybody else around you is like, this probably isn't for you. You know, that I feel like that verse kind of applies.
And don't do that. That's good. Well, thank you guys for being on the podcast. We appreciate you. We're excited. Thanks for serving us. Yeah, the hope is that people who are listening, if you don't serve, man, get connected. Talk to these guys. Talk to Russ, me, Heather. We would love to get you connected with whatever serving opportunities that we have. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and we'll see you Sunday nights, 5 p.m., Black Rock Church.
I can't believe you love me the way that